Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of KOG TV. Today we are looking into Sony's latest surprise announcement. We're talking about Dark Outlaw. Now, this brand new action RPG game has gamers buzzing with its dark, gritty world and next-gen visuals. But can it stand alongside Sony's legendary exclusives? I mean, we're talking about exclusives and exceptional blockbusters like Bloodborne and Ghost of Tsushima. We're going to break it down today and we're going to check that out. So, we got a lot to cover. Let's get into it. Now, Sony just released another Western-themed open-world game. Now, this isn't just another open-world game. This is far more unique. We got a very deep RPG element. We're talking about choice-driven consequences and a combat system that blends tactical precision with brutal melee encounters. Now, the hype does seem pretty real. Now, if Sony delivers on everything that it's promised, this could be a landmark title for the PlayStation 5. Let's get into it.
Rapidly into the huge, wild, and lawless frontier. With Red Dead Redemption 2, Rockstar Games aims to create a living world that's not simply open, but deeper.
Come on, pretty boy.
More interactive and detailed than ever.
Pretty boy?
Combining action, story.
So what exactly is Dark Outlaw? This isn't just any other Western game. It's a dark and twisted take on the genre. This is going to blend classic Wild West aesthetics with supernatural elements and an RPG mechanic to back it all up. Picture a world where lawlessness reigns, but something even darker lurks in the shadows. The game is set in a sprawling open world where players explore dangerous territories from lawless frontier towns to cursed canyons filled with horrors unknown. Now, Sony has promised a deep world building, meaning every location is filled with Western lore, secrets, and emerging gameplay moments that make each playthrough a little unique. This isn't just about gunfights. This is about surviving a world where enemies aren't just the outlaws. It's going to be something that lurks within the shadows.
The loaded axe. Drag enemies closer with the loaded spear, or set them ablaze with the flame vent. Stun and confuse enemies with shuriken and firecrackers, or deflect heavy attacks with the loaded umbrella. Mix these powerful tools with your sword to find new ways to kill ingeniously and tip the odds of the fight your way. Combat in Sekiro Shadows Die Twice requires strategy, and the same tactics won't work against every enemy. A master shinobi must be both aggressive and versatile. Deflection is just one way to turn an enemy's attacks.
Alright, let's talk about what makes this game stand out. Combat system in Dark Outlaw isn't just your standard third-person shooter. Sony has described it as a blend between melee dueling, strategic gunplay, and supernatural powers. Think Sekiro meets Red Dead Redemption, but with a twist. Now, players have to master melee combat where timing, parrying, encounters are just as important as shooting. The gunplay is weighty and tactical, and with limited ammo, this encourages resourcefulness and quick decision making when it comes to using your ammo. Now then, there's the wild card. We're talking about the supernatural element of this whole thing. Sony has hinted at dark forces at play here, so this is probably going to give the protagonist some type of supernatural abilities beyond human limits. Could this mean some kind of ritualistic abilities, some kind of demonic transformations, or maybe some kind of shadowy powers that alter combat entirely? Well, we're going to have to wait to find out.
Modernizing cities, and much more. All populated with a diverse cast of characters from turn-of-the-century life.
Now shoo, please. I'm waiting for someone interesting to turn up.
You play as Arthur Morgan, a trusted senior gun in the Vanderling gang, a band of outlaws and outcasts.
Alright, now what makes Dark Outlaw more than just another action game is its deep RPG mechanics. Sony has confirmed that players will choose. Sony has confirmed that players' choices will shape the story, and not just in small ways. Your reputation as an outlaw will determine how the world reacts to you. Whether you're seen as a legend, a feared gunslinger, or a cursed wanderer. Players have access to a fully customizable skill tree, meaning you can specialize in brute strength, stealthy tactics, or supernatural mastery. Different paths will open up depending on how you build your character. So, being a gunslinger or just being a hunter of supernatural creatures, the choice is yours, and it will drive the story as well.
Storytelling.
We need to get those people warm and fed.
And gameplay in new ways. As you live, ride, and fight to survive as an outlaw in a notorious gang.
As long as we get paid or you get shot, I'm happy.
The game is an attempt to capture this pivotal moment.
Sony is promising a truly living world, and I think that might be one of the coolest aspects about Dark Outlaw. And the settlements will change depending on your actions. Fractions will devolve and evolve depending on who you side with. And the world itself has a shifting power struggles that you'll see at play. There are also dynamics to weather. This weather dynamic affects gameplay with dust storms that'll obscure your vision during shootouts, torrential downpouring rain which will slow down your movements, and even environmental hazards like quicksand and crumbling canyons. Now, let's not forget about the supernatural aspect of this whole situation. Now, what exactly is lurking beyond the edges of civilization? Sony has really kept this part under wraps, but if you look at the trailers and the teasers, we go by that, we can say that we're in for something truly unexpected.
You can form friendships.
God, you did it.
Or make enemies as you choose.
You killed my cousin, you sick son of a bitch!
Your actions have consequences, and it's up to you to decide just how honorable Arthur is.
Should I have killed you, Jimmy Brooks?
Me?
Shooting and fighting have both been radically improved to make combat.
Now let's talk about visuals, because Dark Outlaw, this is where it is looking absolutely insane. Built in an Unreal Engine 5, this game is using cutting-edge lighting, ray tracing, and detailed character models to create a world that truly feels immersive. Every bullet fired, every little explosion, every bit of dust kicked up by a horse's hooves adds to the experience. And here's the best part. Sony is aiming for 60 frames per second on this one. Now, the graphical detail, with all that graphical detail, that means smooth, responsive gameplay without sacrificing visual fidelity. That's going to be awesome. Now let's talk about destruction. Buildings, wagons, and even parts of the terrain can be destroyed, adding another layer of strategy to the combat. No more hiding behind that same crate forever.
You'll also find that certain situations allow for a silent approach. Use your blade for a quiet takedown. Or eavesdrop to gain vital information about your enemies. In Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. You won't survive every encounter, but death is not always defeated.
Alright, so where does that leave us? Dark Outlaw is shaping up to be one of the most ambitious action RPGs we've seen from Sony in years. Now, this has got a reactive world, a deep combat system, and a rich story with consequences. This could be the next big thing. But Sony has confirmed a release date. I'm not 100% sure when that is, but I think they have set on a release date. And I heard pre-orders are already live, so that's good. So, let me know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me today here at KOG TV. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to keep up with all of my latest video game news or any of the stuff that I'm doing. I'm putting out art. I got all kind of stuff going on, so please check me out anywhere you see me. Check the comments, check my bio. I got all kind of stuff going on. Otherwise, I do thank you guys for joining me here. Let's go on I do appreciate you guys joining me on this mission. Let's go on the next one together real soon, and I'll see you guys later.